were conditioned to think that we had to be married by like 25.
Yeah. And be child brides.
And COVID was like, no, you're supposed to just stay at home, make whipped coffee, and watch Tiger King. Hello, clowns.
I'm Amee.
I'm Yu Chen, and we're the hosts of Clown Bites Podcast.
We're two best friends who are chronically online and get together weekly to laugh and discuss all the clown behavior we see on the internet.
And there's so much.
Truly so much.
We're so glad to have you here to clown around with us, and we hope you enjoy the episode.
Hello, clowns. While we did release an episode last week, we have not personally recorded a episode in, what was it, 2 weeks? Has it been 3 weeks?
Pretty much. And like we've only talked on the phone maybe twice, maybe 3 times.
Yeah.
In like the past 2-ish weeks.
We're unwell.
I feel like I'm living in a simulation right now. This is not real life.
Yujin went to Japan. During the 2 weeks you were gone, 1, so much stuff happened to me. And 2, I was just like at a loss. I'm like, what's supposed to be happening right now? I don't know how to exist currently without someone to complain to. I had people to complain to, but it was just
I'm sure you did.
Not you.
So I was just like, okay, I'm probably not the first person that she's told this to, because this is just like too big of a life thing.
Yeah, you were not, because like a lot of the things that happened were like crisis things where I had to find like the closest person in proximity to help me. And you being asleep was unhelpful. Imagine if I called you, FYI, I got in a car accident. That's what we're talking about. But imagine if I called you and then was like got mad at you because you didn't pick up and I was in like a life-threatening situation. TBT to our friendship breakup episode.
Yeah. Listen to that if you want to like know what we're kind of insinuating here. But okay, so the thing is that I use night or sleep mode on my phone. And so I will send you to voicemail twice. So I will not pick up.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like nothing happened where like I needed it to be you that picked up. Because what were you gonna do from Japan when I needed a ride home? Like, what should have even done for myself? Like something I could do myself. So it was fine, but tough, and can't do that again.
Okay, should I give the audience an update on my trip?
Yeah.
So the update is I was in Japan along with literally everyone and their mother. Truly,
yeah.
I'm not trying to say this to like make fun of, I guess I am. I'm making fun of myself. Literally everyone was there. First of all, being on vacation, I was literally like, I'm going to delete all these apps. I'm not going to check anything. But you know how sometimes you just randomly think about someone that you haven't thought about in a while? One day I was just like randomly thinking about this girl that I had muted on Instagram. Like, we're just acquaintances, and I met her like years back, and I don't know, I just like for some reason thought of her. And I was like, okay, let me check to see, A, is she still following me? Because I definitely would not know because I like completely muted her. And B, like, what is she up to? Because she lives in San Francisco. Turns out she was literally in the same city as me in Japan. I was like, of course. Literally, of course. I have seen pretty much, I knew at least 5 different people from like different friend groups, all in Japan at the same time. And I guess I'm basic like that. I don't know.
Everyone just got a good flight deal, I guess.
Was it a good flight deal?
Did you get a good flight deal? It was from Dallas. Like, that's why Amee went.
Well, how much is it from Dallas?
I think whenever she originally bought her flight, it was like $800.
Okay, that is a really good deal.
Yeah.
I don't actually know how much mine costs. I bet it was probably a good deal too. Well, I always buy my international flights with points. So I have no idea how much international flights cost really. But I mean, like being direct from SF, I would say it was probably a good deal.
Yeah. I mean, you're already on the West Coast, so it makes it easier too. How long was your flight?
Going there, we thought it was, okay, because you're going against the current,
Yeah.
Traveling from east to west is literally the worst.
Sucks. Yeah.
So we thought it was around 8, but it was more like 11. And
Oh.
we flew Japan Airlines and they kept it so hot. Like my worst nightmare is being cold on the flight. I have
Yeah.
so many like traumatizing experiences being on flights where I'm just like shivering to death. I mean, you have
Yeah.
those experiences too. But this one, they kept it really hot and we were so thirsty. Like they gave us zero water. I
Did you
had to
not
even
bring water?
We brought water and we drank it
Okay.
all. I had to go up and ask for water. I've never had to go up and ask for water before. And Nico, who drinks more water than me, was like struggling so hard. To one point, I was just like, why don't you go? Because I wasn't really paying attention to what he was doing. I was doing my own
Yeah.
thing. But I was like, why don't you go up and ask for water? And he's like, I've had to do that like 10 times already.
That would be me. I'd be like,
Yeah.
excuse me, why is it so hot in here? I need some water.
Yeah. To the point where like I was like, don't talk to me while we were going through border patrol because I was just dying of thirst.
Oh
But
my God.
on the way back, I was like, I've learned my lesson. Let's use up all my cash and buy water bottles for the flight. And we didn't need to use it because the flight
Oh
was
my.
much shorter.
But it was it as hot?
I don't think so. Or maybe
Okay.
we just didn't notice it.
You were used to it.
Yeah.
Wait, was the weather in Japan cold?
No, it was low 70s or like
Mm,
mid 70s, which felt
that's
hot.
nice.
Like I
Oh.
think I brought my wool blazer. Remember the one that I brought to Japan? I
Mm,
brought that one. I brought a puffer. I did not need to use it. I just wore short
yeah.
sleeves all the time and maybe needed like a sweater at night, but that was it.
Yeah.
It was, I think, perfect weather.
Nice. That's the weather it's going to be this one weekend in Dallas.
Okay, anyways, but I think the reason why everyone and their mother is in Japan right now is A, the flights would
Mm-hmm.
be. I feel like there's been so much pent up travel energy to go to Japan because they
Mm-hmm.
closed their border for such a long time
Yeah.
that everyone is just doing their Japan trip that they should have done in
Years ago.
2020,
Yeah.
2021. COVID, man, still having an impact on us.
I know. One of my seniors, like when COVID was happening, was supposed to go to Japan for like 2 weeks, which obviously he couldn't. And I wonder if he ever did it. Like if they ever rebooked.
He was probably there 2 weeks ago with me.
Yeah.
All right. Well, our main topic for today is kind of about COVID, just reflecting back on our COVID experience and honestly the gap that COVID has left in our lives. So, you
Mm-hmm.
and I talk about this feeling, this sensation as the COVID gap. Essentially, it's like we feel like we've lost years of our lives. Like we don't feel like we're the age that we currently are. We feel like there are certain aspects of being in our 20s that we've completely just missed out on. And we call it our COVID gap. But as I was prepping for this exercise or prepping for this episode, I was kind of searching up like COVID year gap, like COVID gap. No one's talking about it. Like, how did we come up with this term?
I thought we saw a TikTok about it.
Did we?
It was on TikTok. Well, you know what? Is the video I sent you on the COVID gap, like, they're getting trashed. So are we going to get trashed?
Wait, they're getting trashed?
Yeah, because people are like, oh, why are you complaining? And they were just like, we're not complaining. I mean, I guess we are, but like, we're simply expressing like how we feel about losing those years.
I don't think we're complaining at all. Everyone has lost some
Yeah.
form of quote unquote years. Like, I would say we got out easy. I would say the individuals who started college
Oh yeah.
during
That is
COVID
like the
probably
worst,
got
I
hit the
think.
worst. Yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of losing years of their life.
Mm-hmm. If I was about to start college, I would feel like the most gypped. I think college was some of my favorite years so far, and I can't imagine like not. I would just be a different person.
Exactly. Can you believe we're coming up almost 4 years since
That's crazy.
COVID started? That's I can't even speak. That's what like the COVID gap means. It's like this weird feeling that time is warped and like that
Mm-hmm.
period of COVID didn't happen, but it did. And what did we
Yeah.
do? Everything's kind of like a weird blank, but it's not. It's like we've all went through some form of really intense trauma and we
Yeah.
haven't really fully recovered from it, or we like really blocked it out of our memory. It's really impacted like how we view ourselves and like where we are in life. I mean, we are both turning what, 29 this year. Oh my god.
Don't even say it. We're turning an age that's in our 20s. Our
But
last
our
year.
last year of our 20s, and we have an entire episode dedicated to that, by the way. Be on the lookout
Coming
for
up.
it. But what age do you feel like you currently are?
I feel like I'm like just out of college still. Like I feel like I'm 24, 25, 26.
That was, you listed
That's many
three
years.
very
I
different
know.
years.
Okay, but like what are the years? I don't even know. I have no thoughts in my brain.
No, like
I
without
guess
this context, if I just straight up asked you, how old are you,
yeah.
or how old do you feel?
Oh, 25.
Exactly. 25 is how I feel. And if you do the math, 20, let's just use 29. 29 minus 4. Like we're all rounding now.
We turned, did we turn 24 right before COVID started or 25 right before COVID started?
Don't ask me to do math and
I
explain
know.
things I don't have the
No,
capacity to.
we turned 24, I think. No, I don't know. But that was like one of my like it was such a fun birthday and I remember thinking like this is going to be such a good year. Like I finally felt very settled in Houston. Like I had great friends and I was like, yeah, this next year is going to be the best. I got a new job and alas.
Wait, that was the year that you started working at PwC, right?
No, that's when I quit and started working at EY.
Oh, EY, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And then COVID hit. This is why I think we both feel like we're stuck at 25, is that 25 is supposed to be such a pivotal, or society claims that 25 is supposed to be such a
Who the hell
pivotal
knows if it would have been.
moment of your 20s. Like, I feel like people make a big deal about it. Maybe that's an issue with our society. I too felt that same way about being 25. And then I had just moved to the Lower East Side, close to all my friends, which was more of like a party going out location.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, this is the year that I'm gonna date. JK. But yeah, and then COVID hit, and essentially since then I have really truly felt like it's Groundhog Year, reliving my 25th year over and over again. Do you feel the same way?
Yes, I feel like we're kind of just like moving through slime. Like just kind of like, what's going on?
What's going on? Yeah. Because even though we're quote unquote post COVID, it doesn't feel that way.
No. And do you think that's because we both work from home?
Partially. Okay, so that brings us to our next session. COVID has really, I think, drastically changed society.
Mm-hmm.
You listeners, let us know if you feel differently. But one of the like key moments, I think, is remote working and like return to office. I mean, you're a proponent of remote working, but what are your thoughts on how this shift has occurred?
Honestly, I think it opened up a lot of job opportunities for people who didn't live in like the key cities. Like I would never have gotten my startup job had we not been in a like remote environment, because there were just not jobs like that I wanted in Houston. Also, there were maybe like a handful of them. Like it was not a big pool, and I think it really helped expand most people's opportunities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but if you backtracked to October of 2019, God, I can vividly remember October of 2019. It was so fun. I think that's when I got my current phone. I just bought a new iPhone. I had bought the like AirPods. I was going to class.
We went to Spain.
Oh yeah,
we went to Spain. I got so sick that month. Yeah, but fun things happened. Honestly, it was like fun to be sick. I like just stayed at home and didn't have to work. Yeah, and I was living life.
Imagine being back in October 2019, and I told you like we're gonna be remote working. You're like, no fucking way.
On the project I was on, we used to get to work from home on Fridays. That was around the time that we got it taken away, quote unquote, because we were not meeting like deadlines that were so fake. But even that, like my director or whatever was so annoyed that we would do that. He's like, no, you have to go to the office. Like, how do you guys do any work?
Wonder how he's doing.
I don't know, living his life. He retired right before COVID.
Love that for him.
Yeah. So I think he's happy. But I would have been excited though.
But to me, it feels unbelievable
Oh, yeah, for sure.
that we would all just work from home. But you know what I do miss? I do miss just like running out and grabbing lunch, grabbing
Yeah,
coffee, just casually saying hi to coworkers. I almost feel like I get more work done here at home because I'm just
me
go,
too.
go, go. But I
Yeah.
don't know if that's just me.
No, that's me too. I used to love to shoot the shit. When I worked at PwC, I worked with two of my still close friends. We literally sat next to each other, and all day we would like work for 20 minutes and then be like, let's go get coffee. And like, it was just fun.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think like even though I feel so grateful to work from home and I don't think I can ever go back full
No,
time to the office. God bless those of you who are doing it. You are stronger than me.
I think we would get used to it again, just like we got
Would
used to
we?
remote work. It would take a long time, but we maybe would.
I think remote work has created so much, honestly, so much humor about the work from home
Mm-hmm.
life that I just, I'd be sad if COVID never happened and I would never never laugh about people like taking naps during their Zoom calls. Like truly I wouldn't have it any other way. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I love that in a way COVID did push us to accept remote working a lot faster.
Yeah. And I think it made everyone prioritize like personal life, which was a much needed shift in corporate culture in America for sure.
Mm-hmm. One thing that I'm also really grateful for is to me, it feels like COVID really slowed down how you're supposed to be living your life. I don't know if you
Mm-hmm.
felt this way, but whenever I was in New York, it was always go, go, go. Like, go to Barry's, go to the office, go to the happy hour, go to dinner with the girls, go to the pregame, go out, come
Yeah.
back, do it again, go to brunch. And then COVID happened. I'm just like, what am I supposed to do? But you know what? It fucking cleared up my skin, is what it did.
Honestly, it was like at the beginning, it felt so freeing. I was doing
Oh my gosh, yeah.
so many things I love to do, like watch TV and just lay around. And especially like earlier that year, I would really gotten into this mindset of like, I need to be doing a lot of things every weekend. And I don't want to. And I didn't want to then.
It
So it
literally
was
made me
like
realize
nice.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice to be like, oh, I can't do anything. Boring, for sure. We watched like the dumbest shit. I watched the dumbest shit during COVID.
Yeah. I think one other thing that, in a way, COVID has really shaped us and still
Mm-hmm.
impacting us today is just the job market itself. Because,
Yeah.
one, I was so desperate to leave my current job. And when COVID happened, I was like, all of my opportunities just fell through the window. And I really feel for, I guess, people who were job hunting at that time, like college
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
students who were trying to get their internships, because in a way, internships were kind of the only pipeline into a lot of really great full-time roles, right? And if you don't have
Yeah.
that internship, I wonder how they got their full-time jobs.
Yeah.
And that feeling of like stuff completely outside of your control
Yeah.
is something that is just so stressful.
Mm-hmm. Like pretty quickly, I feel like into that EY year, I was really like, I hate it here. But it was also like, where am I supposed to go now? Like I just have to weather it out.
I keep forgetting that you did EY. That too, like because of the COVID gap,
Mm-hmm.
those years really just like I remember distinctly before EY.
Yeah.
And I remember distinctly when you got your next job. But
Yeah.
those like EY months, year ish was just literally a blur.
It was a joke. Remember, I was on an audit, and at what for 4 months I was reviewing small business loan applications. Like it was honestly the weirdest time.
But what's like really interesting is that lately I feel like the effects of, the job market and
Mm-hmm.
how there were a lot of companies who maybe like overestimated their growth
Oh
during
yeah.
COVID or maybe like underestimated. Essentially, I think companies were basically overvaluing their growth before and during COVID, which in turn
Mm-hmm.
has caused this like weird bubble burst in the VC industry where no one is getting funded anymore.
Yes, that shift was honestly a good thing, like the shift to not blindly funding companies. Like, how many companies pre COVID were just run on VC money? And there was like no path to profitability.
Well, I know one. Probably,
We both do. We know several: Uber,
yeah,
Lyft.
companies that are still around. Did we talk about this? I'm not sure if we talked about this on the pod, but like this pizza company that was like a food truck that basically made pizza in their food truck automatically through a machine and a robot, and they would drive the truck around and deliver it to you.
Okay, I don't know if we've definitely not talked about it on the pod, but I have heard of this or we have talked about it.
Okay, because why did this get funded?
I don't know. And was the pizza good? No way,
Probably
right?
not.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know. So many crazy things got funded and it makes no sense. Like, I don't even know. And you know what? Like, it led to so many layoffs happening because of it. I went through 2 layoffs at my job, which like was my first time ever going through it, and it was so creepy. Like, it just feels weird. It's like so eerie
Mhm.
and like makes the vibe so bad.
I always wonder, you know how companies always, because we were going through layoffs or similar situations around the same
Yeah.
time, and the reasons were always cited as COVID. But layoffs are not a unique thing that happened post
No.
COVID. And so I literally wonder if it's just an excuse. Like, how can
It
we?
was.
Yeah,
Was because like everyone overestimated their growth and ability to get VC money, and they were like, "Oh shit, we cannot fundraise anymore. How do we cut all of these costs because we did not plan well?"
yeah. What a
Sick.
time.
So what a time.
Okay, but despite all these weird things happening that maybe should have been for the better, like even
Yeah.
though COVID was such a traumatic experience for us, and I mean, luckily, I think we got off easy in the States.
Yeah.
I feel like it's really impacted society as a whole, and maybe for the better, maybe for the worse. Who knows? I mean, it gave us the surge of TikTok, which I am forever thankful for.
No, totally. You know, one thing that is personally am feeling from COVID years is like brain fog. I think I have been in this like brain fog situation for years now. Like, there are days where I'm just like, how come I cannot form a thought? Like, what is happening? I feel so extra tired all the time. I literally got a fatigue test done this week because I don't know if this is normal.
I
And
have
I
brain
don't
fog
ever,
right now.
yeah, same. And like, I don't know if I used to, like, I don't remember experiencing this before. And is that because we were younger? Is this an aging thing? I don't know. But a lot of people I know just have so much brain fog these days.
I think it's just an aging thing.
I don't know. Is it? Because the Reddit post you linked, in the comments, it said that because we all went through collective trauma of COVID, like a trauma response is brain fog. Also, is the brain fog from getting COVID? Like, God knows. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I will say I wouldn't. COVID was tough, but I wouldn't say it was traumatic for me. It was.
But like, do you think that you don't feel like it was traumatic for you because a lot of other things were going on that like objectively are more traumatic, but like maybe it was
Oh
in
yeah, for
ways that we
sure.
don't understand.
Yeah, probably, and I will never understand it.
Yeah, and we'll never get it.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure. It's every time I think about COVID, it almost feels like a topic I don't want to talk about. And like, I have so many gaps from my life, like
Mm-hmm.
from all aspects of my life. And I think it is a trauma response that my brain does to like protect me from like thinking about certain things, which is maybe why I have brain fog and I feel like I have no thoughts. But
Yeah.
That's how I feel about the COVID gap years. I know what happened.
Yeah.
I know specifically what happened, but I don't feel like it happened.
Yeah. Like, okay, this is a really side note tangent, but like when you think about years, do you think about it like how do you picture them? Like in what order?
Wait, why are you thinking so specifically
Hold
about
on.
months?
Like this is getting to somewhere. And we'll cut it if this doesn't make sense. But like, okay, in general, like I think about years in a rainbow.
What?
Like January to December is a rainbow. And in my head, I'm like fully normal right now, and this is scary.
No, someone will validate you. I'm
In my
sure.
head, okay, like the months are a rainbow, but the COVID years are literally just like like there's like rainbows and bubbles. Like whenever I think about it, like I cannot. It's as if I am remembering things outside of my body.
No, I remember things as periods of time, like
Yeah.
significant periods of times, very tied to, I think, the people that I surround myself with. Like, I think of maybe college in two very distinct
Like buckets.
moments, and then my adult life post college in two very distinct well, three. New York,
Yeah.
COVID, which is also a blur,
Yeah.
and then
SF.
SF. But SF really, I've been living in SF for 2 years now. You've been living in Dallas for 2 years now. I don't feel like sometimes I'm still like, I live in SF.
Yeah.
Everything that's happened post COVID, I haven't really been able to comprehend as like a life moment, you know? Why do you think we psychologically feel like we've lost years of our lives?
For me, it feels like that because we were essentially literally stuck at that age. You know what it's like when you go on space travel and if you're gone for so long, like you don't age, but like the people around you are aging.
Wait,
Not like
really?
just to the moon, but if like you watch those movies and they go really, really far, then that's what happens.
Is that actually true though? You don't age in space?
Yeah. I
Oh,
don't think like space
interesting.
and the moon, but like space very far, like say you were going to Saturn or something. But it feels like that. Like I feel like I am just not aging mentally. Obviously, physically, I'm aging hella fast. My back has been hurting a lot this week. But because we were essentially in this space of can't do anything, you're not really progressing your life in any way, like that's why I feel like it was like lost years essentially.
Yeah, I don't know. As someone who's a planner, I almost feel like
Yeah.
I had so many plans
Yeah.
for that year. To not make any progress
Mhm.
on that, I'm sure people can relate, but that's when you still feel stuck. Looking back now from like 2020 to where I am now, I've accomplished so much, but in a way, I don't know, it almost feels like I'm still behind because where I am now is where I think I might have wanted to be maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's hard because it just really took the idea you had of how things are going to go and just completely wiped it out. And then, like, since then, I don't feel like I've personally ever recovered the timeline is a bad word, but like path I had in my mind of like how things were going to go.
But we're such like a timeline oriented society these days that I think that's what has fucked us
Yeah.
up is we have always been conditioned that life is very linear. You start in kindergarten, elementary school, middle school, high school, then college, then adult life, and then some of us were conditioned to think that we had to be married by like
Yeah.
25.
And be child
And
brides.
COVID was like, no, you're supposed to just stay at home, make whipped coffee, and watch Tiger
Literally.
King for like for a year,
Yeah.
essentially.
I mean, I feel like it was really like a year and a half of pretty intense, quote unquote, rules about going out and things.
For sure. All right, should we talk about some fun
Mm-hmm.
memories of COVID? One of my honestly favorite things to do is watch stuff that triggers like surprise and delight. Surprise me
Okay.
in that something will trigger me to think about the good times, quote unquote good times
Okay.
of COVID. Like anytime that I hear the Say So Doja Cat
Yes.
song, it really just takes me back to COVID and watching all those dance TikToks.
I was so heavily invested in dance TikTok. It was such a fun time. Whenever people do those like throwback mashups, I'm like vibing so
Yes.
hard. Whenever I hear Savage with Beyonce in it, it takes me back
Oh, yeah.
ASAP.
And Addison Rae doing her little dance
Yeah.
thing. I saw this video recently and they're like, where is Addison Rae? And I'm just like,
She was
God knows.
photographed like on a pap walk, basically reading Britney Spears' book, like walking. Like it was obviously fake, but that's what she's up to.
Why is that the one thing she had to pap walk
I
for?
have no idea, but like that's what she did. It was weird. But anyways, yeah, like even people, and Charlie D'Amelio just did that Walmart commercial where, or that Walmart thing where she was like being
Oh, I saw.
cashier, and everyone
Yeah.
is pissed.
They were kind of COVID TikTok darlings at the time, and
Yeah.
now they're doing pap walks.
I mean, they've made a boatload of money, and who knows? Who knows how they're mentally feeling? Did you ever watch the D'Amelio show?
No, but I heard they were basically depressed.
Yeah, I heard that too. I didn't watch it either. I heard that it was honestly hard to watch. And oh my god, remember the TikTok houses? I just remember them. That was such a wild time.
Are TikTok houses still around?
No, I feel like no. That was a bubble that burst.
That was a bubble that burst. What are some songs or like albums that really just remind you of COVID?
I literally like remember listening to Folklore and like reviewing applications every day. Like that is,
I know,
is like my COVID album.
I remember listening to Folklore, walking around the neighborhood, having to walk on the opposite side of the street if someone was like walking towards me, running to Folklore and thinking like, this isn't really a running song, but I'll run to it.
Oh my god, you know, I got one of those like funny bikes. Funny is not a good word.
Oh yeah, you got
I got
bikes.
a bike. I don't know where the fuck that bike is. But I got a bike. I used to like bike around the neighborhood, and it's just like the neighborhood was small, and I just was biking in circles, listening to the daily, and like the most sad shit on my like a funny bike. Ugh, that was a weird time.
You know what I just remembered? We both spent our 25th birthday with each other. Like you came over
Dude,
to
was
my
it
house,
our 26th
and I came
birthday?
over to your house.
Now I'm like not sure math.
Oh my gosh, I don't remember.
In 2020, we did spend our birthdays together. We had pluckers. Did we have pluckers? Was it pluckers?
We had pluckers at my place with my friend Peter.
Yeah, we had Mexican food at mine. We got the doggies.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Okay, one thing that I've been seeing a lot on TikTok are people are just like roasting the Chloe Ting workouts. Do you know what I'm talking about? Did you ever do them?
I didn't do them, but I do remember them.
Okay, all her videos basically had like 3 different types of music. Like the songs were used over and over again, and it's like a Pavlov dog like thing for me now. Every time it happens, I'm just like, oh, I gotta do my push-ups, I gotta do my like knee tuck. But I feel like everyone was somehow doing it, but I have no idea how I found out.
Maybe TikTok
about it, actually. Maybe TikTok. But her whole thing was like, do these 2-week challenges. And I would be working out, doing the challenges, and like people were showing their 2-week results and they were crazy. I had no 2-week results. I remember taking a photo of myself before and after. And literally a month ago, Nico was like looking over my shoulder while I was going through my photos. He's like, what are these photos that you took? And I had to play it off. I was just like, oh, I was just like checking my hair. But they were my Chloe Ting workout video results.
Oh my god. Yeah, that was such a thing. I didn't do that. I found a lot of fitness influencers on Instagram at that time and would just do the workouts that they...
You were doing that.
And I still follow some of them. But not that I do those workouts because I just go to classes, but I was very into those.
You know what else you were very into? Giggly Squad.
Oh my god, yes. Anytime I think about COVID, I think about Giggly Squad because every night at 9 p.m. I would watch them on Instagram Live. Like, there were so few that I missed, and it was just like my birth control alarm was at 8:50. So I took my birth control, brushed my teeth, washed my face and everything, got into bed, ready to watch Giggly Squad. It was the most consistent thing that was happening.
But I think that's what I miss about COVID is that routine that it gave us. I don't know. There was like I'm so conflicted these days because I am so nostalgic for certain aspects of my COVID years, but I just remember like I gotta get back to New York. I
Mm-hmm.
gotta get back to New York. Like I have lost so much time,
Yeah,
progress
yeah.
that I feel like very
Mm-hmm.
conflicted.
I mean, that's fine. Like, that's a very human way to feel about things. Like, there were good parts of it, and there were obviously very bad parts of it. And both can exist. Remember our staycation at the Marriott Marquis where we discovered Are You the One?
Okay, this is prime example of me just forgetting stuff because that was such a fun
Yeah.
staycation and like really interesting like friendship time. But we why do I not
I don't
remember it?
know.
I guess I do remember that now that you bring it
Yeah.
up.
So for everyone, we were supposed to go to Big Bend, but because we could like drive there, but COVID was like very intense at that time. Like obviously winter COVID was spreading like crazy, so we decided not to do it. But I have so many Marriott Bonvoy points from when I used to travel for work. So we used them to stay at the Marriott Marquis in Houston, which has a Texas shaped lazy pool, like lazy river thing. That, of course, the 1 week we're there, it's like raining and too cold. So we couldn't get in it.
It was so
Well, we
cold.
tried to get in the hot tub for like 2 seconds. We were like, what the fuck is this? Let's go. But all we did was like walk around downtown. No one was there. Just like get to go food from wherever was open and like watch TV in the suite.
Honestly,
It was
so
so
fun.
fun.
And we basically discovered MTV's Are You the One? I think season one
Mm-hmm.
was on Netflix. And if you have not seen season one of Are
It's
You
a
the One,
masterpiece.
please go watch it. It is a gold
Mm-hmm.
mine. I think I'm gonna watch some clips after we end the episode just to
Just to
feel alive.
reminisce.
All right, well, there you have it. The good and the bad of our COVID years. Obviously, it was a tough time for us all. I think we're still living through the brain fog and the trauma of it, but it's always nice to reminisce on the fun aspects of
Yeah.
life.
You know, I only remember things positively, even though it was like the worst time of
Same.
life. And thank God for my brain doing this one little favor for me. Thanks so much for listening. You can follow us on all social media at Clown Vibes Podcast or email us at clownvibespodcast@gmail.com.
And if you like our show and want to support us, please like, subscribe, and give us a rating and review. That's it for today. Bye,
Bye,
clowns.
clowns.